welcome to another Cachorro video. As we continue our Ahsoka series breakdown, we now have episode 3 called Time to Fly. This is a short episode, roughly about the 30 minutes in length after you take out the credits time. And you kind of you kind of feel like you do want a little bit more. It does deliver some good stuff for the short amount of time that's in. Today's like a pretty much an action-packed episode. Let's see. I'm quickly realizing that David Tennant's Huang is a secret steal of the show. He is doing an amazing job in it. And even the people that hate on the show should at least love it for the fact that David Tennant is getting any time to shine. And it's amazingly good. He's got his character down packed, and it's amazing, and he does a great job with it. We get some more Ahsoka Sabine training. Like I said, I don't get where much of it's coming from. They're kind of playing off the fact that she has no force connectivity at all. Doesn't really. We still don't get any ideas on why she's training to be a force user. Where this moment came from. They do talk about how Mandalorians are rarely Jedi, and then they point out a lot of her weapon training stuff is from her Mandalorian background, so they do at least start playing that part of the lore up a little bit more. We get to hear a couple. Merrick has a few lines. It's hard. Supposedly he's played by Sam Witwer, and everyone's thinking it's Starkiller. His voice is very robotic, so can't really even tell it's him. So, still undecided on where that's going. Probably, what if that's going to technically be him, or they're just trying to play homage to it, maybe. We get some returns of some cool animals that famous Star Wars animals. We get a space battle, so it does deliver a lot. So before we start doing the episode breakdown, let's do a tally. Like I said, it's not a bad episode. It's a good episode. It's just short, which kind of sucks. So I'm gonna hang around about 7.5 for it. If it gave us a little bit more stuff, it probably could easily be another 8 as well. But it's it's good for what it is, even for the shortness. So I didn't hate it. So let's break down and go over the stuff that happens in the episode here. So we open up with a training sequence. First, we see what Huang can do. He has like these he can strike poses, and person's supposed to take a wooden lightsaber and go through it and hit the right marks. So we open up with him doing that with Sabine, and her test results at the end is she's very meh. It's not great, it's okay, not terrible, not great. So and then she mentions how Huang told her she was the worst Padawan force being that he's ever seen in all his years. And so then Ahsoka wants to do a training montage where she has to put on a helmet where she can't see out of, and wants her to defend herself against Ahsoka. So Ahsoka's trying to go around and tell her to use the Force to feel where I'm at and stuff. I can already tell you, I know we already know this. The praise YouTubers are going to be, it's a callback to Obi-Wan and Luke Skywalker. To be fair, I'm pretty sure other people have. I think in Rebels, Kanan and Ezra did something similar to that as well. I think we've seen that scene recreated many times, so it's not that big of a deal. It's happened before. It's kind of people trying to play off of it. So so she's pretty much trying to get Ahsoka to use her feelings, and Ahsoka keeps getting overly aggressive, and it leads to her getting knocked down. And she's pretty much saying that you're leading anger and frustration will give you a burst of power, but it makes you unstable, and it's easier to take you down then. So in these cool little training montage. I mean, Rosario Dawson feels really good in the character. It just feels like a really different type of Ahsoka than we're probably used to seeing. Because it's like I don't really ever seen this mentor leader Ahsoka. I mean, she is supposed to be older, so I guess it's plausible for that to happen. It's a nice little training montage, kind of, well, not montage, but just training scene at the beginning. So it's pretty cool. From there, we go to Hera boarding back at the Rebel fleet as she goes to have a meeting with Mon Mothma and the senators, talking about how she needs a fleet. Pretty much talking about her investigation, how she found a Corellian spaceport loyal to the Empire and Morgan Elsbeth, asking for New Republic assistance to go to the wherever the system is that everything is. I can't remember what it's called. Something I've never heard. Distian system or something like that. To check it out, to see if there's something bigger going on, and that she warns about Thrawn and the senator on to the right there of Mon Mothma. Can't remember what they said his name was. He's all against it. He thinks it's just another coup to go looking for Ezra Bridger and using resources just for that search, and he doesn't. So pretty much they don't believe anything Hera's saying, and refuse to aid in this mission. But we're also going to get to something else. That's the hate tubers. Now we're going to pick on the hate tubers because I got to pick on both sides. Mon Mothma asks Hera about Jason, her son. And she gives a little update on that. And then as soon as the scene's over, she goes out into the hallway, and we get to meet Jason. So for hey tubers, imagine me giving you a big middle finger right now saying, suck it, bitches. There's Jason. Because y'all were whining, where's Jason? Where's Jason? There's Jason, okay? He's there, okay? Just shut your mouth. So Jason shows up. He just mentions her Aunt Sabine's training to be a Jedi from Chopper. And he wants to train to be a Jedi. And that's pretty much the end of that scene. From there, we go back to Sabine and Ahsoka. They're having a chat over a drink. Some kind of coffee, tea kind of thing. And Sabine was hoping the situation would expedite her training. And Ahsoka pretty much telling her that it doesn't work like that. You know, you can't rush it. And there's a little scene with her pulling a cup towards her and stuff like that. And Sabine tries to tries some work pulling the cup herself. Then Hera calls her because there's a message Ahsoka calls her because there's a message from Hera, pretty much saying, "Hey, you're on your own. I can't get any help. We're not allowed to help. I didn't get approved for any help for her, so they didn't." Then the message gets interrupted because they enter the system and they're being blocked. So they come out of hyperspace and get attacked by our evil Jedi chick, who I absolutely love her. She got the Jedi power on. She looks like she's got the braid and stuff, but man, she just looks like she's going to be a Sith. Like she easily could turn to the Sith easily. She's going to be evil. She's got the evil look to her and everything she's doing. I just really like this character. I really do. I think she's really nailing the role very well. So her and Merrick and a couple red shirts. Sorry, I know it's a Star Trek reference, but a couple other guys and ships start attacking them. And Sabine goes to the back to man the tail gun. And it kind of leads to a point where her and Ahsoka need to work together and get on the same page. Ahsoka has to help, listen to Sabine to get set up the ships, so Sabine can pretty much take out. Let's say there's 6 ships altogether. So she takes out 3 of the no name pilots. Takes 3 of them out. Meanwhile, they're trying to get. They find that they see the Eye of Sion. So their goal is they need to figure out what it is. They notice that it looks like a hyperspace ring. As they get close enough, Morgan Elsbeth calls off the other ships so she can use the turbo lasers to start attacking them. And their ship has some massively good shields. I'm going to tell you. As there is some super strong shields on Ahsoka's ship. So Huang's trying to get readings of everything, so they're trying to dodge the ships and absorb the attacks as much as they can. He finally gets the full reading, and their shields go down and they get hit. And the ship, Huang gets like knocked. I don't know what do you say about knocked out for a robot, for a droid. There's a hit on the ship. The ship gets disabled, and Huang gets knocked out. For lack of a better word. So Ahsoka starts trying to get the ship back up and running, and this is the most questionable scene in it that I'm sure people are going to bitch about. So to give her time, Ahsoka puts on a spacesuit and goes out with, I'm assuming, magnetic boots to distract the fighters, because Morgan thinks she destroyed the ships, but then Shin comes in and says, congratulations, you almost got them. They're still there. I'll get them. So obviously there's a little tension between those two. They don't like, obviously Shin does not like Morgan very much or trust her. So Ahsoka goes out on the wing in her spacesuit and her lightsabers. They see her, so they start trying to shoot at her. So she's deflecting shots and dodging shots for a couple passes. She ends up taking out the remaining no-name ship guy. And then Ahsoka gets the ship up running, and Ahsoka gets back in the ship, and they take off towards the planet. People are going to complain about this scene. I already know they are. I wanted to hate it, but it's happened before in Star Wars. Plo Koon is famously did it, and his clones famously did a battle in space outside of their ships. Where Plo didn't even really use a spacesuit. And then Plo Koon is one of her. I mean, Anakin trained her, but Plo Koon's the one that found her. So it'd be cool if she would throw like some kind of like little little Plo Koon knowledge, Easter egg line or something in there. So the scene, I'm okay with the scene just because I know we've done it before. But yeah. So they go into the planet being chased by Merrick and Shin. And we run into the Purgle! The good old Star Whales are back, baby. We finally actually get to fully see one. We saw kind of outlines of them in the Mandalorian. But we finally get to see them again. And of course, Ahsoka and Sabine are amazed and both give themselves a smile when they see them. Then we get this whole little sequence where they're flying and dodging the Purgle while the two bad guys are chasing them and stuff like that. Until they get to a spot where they go one way and the Purgle close in, so the bad guys have to go around, and they use that as their advantage to dip down under the clouds and fly low to the ground. And then our bad guys lose them. And our good guys find a spot to hide in the forest. So there's a big red forest with red trees. So they hurry up and park the ship, turn all the power off, and the bad guys flow over them and can't find them. Then they turn everything back on, including Huang, who, like I said, once again, he's got some of the best dialogue in the show. So he pretty much announces that, this is a hyperspeed. They're still putting in the last hyperdrive. It's 7 Super Star Destroyer hyperdrives in it, and that it should have the power to jump to another galaxy. And he talks about how the archives talked about possible paths between intergalactic travel that followed the migration of the Star Whales Purgle, and that's when they say, oh, just like the ones we just saw. So he was knocked out, he didn't get to see it, so haha. And they share a little smile. So pretty much, and then we cut to our big guy here who finally gets an appearance in the episode as he tells his troops that the Jedi are hiding in the forest, go hunt them down. And a slow zoom in on him, and then this episode ends. Do like him a lot too. Ray Stevenson's doing a great job with this character, so it's so sad, very sad that he passed away. But as I said, it's a fun episode. It's good. It's got you get the cool little training sequence at the beginning. You get you get a space battle, which is what everyone comes in Star Wars to see, is the space battles. Even for its shortness, It's a solid episode. So obviously, the New Republic's not getting on board with Grand Admiral Thrawn being alive. We have the hyperdrive to jump intergalaxy. Another galaxy. Sorry, I'm taping this a little late. And our heroes are stuck on a planet where the bad guys are trying to hunt in on them. So that's 3 of, I believe, 8. So next episode is the halfway mark. So I guess we'll have some kind of battle in the forest, I would assume, unless they try and fly their ship out. So I guess they're going to end up getting on the Eye of Sion, because I would imagine somehow they're all going to end up going to these other galaxies, my theory. But so I'm not sure how they're going to plan that one out yet. But there, I think that, I mean, people are crying to the show. Had some of the lowest viewership. It's got that viewership of the first opening night was like 1.2 million, same as Andor got. And Star Wars is all different. First off, I don't know how they get those numbers, because didn't Disney have to be the one that gives you the numbers? Wouldn't Disney be the one who knows how many people watched it on their streaming service? I don't know how many people would have access to the viewing numbers on Disney's streaming service, but whatever. Like I said, in the moment where I think people are going to come back to check out the show eventually, or they're just going to wait and watch the whole thing at once. The show's not bad. I don't know where all the hate for it's coming. People are trying to hate on it is. I mean, there's just, like, the only issue I have is the Sabine Jedi stuff. That's the only issue I've had with the show. Is I know Rebels. I don't know where this came from. Other than that, I've really enjoyed the show so far. It's been a very solid show. As you can see, 8. The first day was 8 episodes were 8. This is a 7.5 just because it was short. Maybe I'll go ahead and give it the 8, just to be fair. I mean, it was a good episode. I just hate it being 30 minutes. But this is very interesting to see. I do like our villains a lot. I think they're doing a great job. Like I said, I've come around. I've come to the point where I think Huang is a secret darling of the show. David Tennant is doing a great job with his voice work on the robot, on droid. So I've been super happy with the show overall. So that's my breakdown of episode 3. So see you next week for the episode 4.